Hello, single person. I'd have to argue that I do too, honestly. I own so many, it's ridiculous. Wish the camera quality was better, but what do you do? But yeah, this one just came out. Walmart just dropped these. They are $10. It's called the Ozark Trail 7.5-inch folding knife. It's a really nice knife. I really, really recommend this thing. Hey, how you doing, Fook? I honestly should have said that I was going to go live, but I didn't, so what are you going to do? That thing's comfortable. Yeah, it is a what they call their slide lock. I did a first impressions review on this thing. It dropped yesterday at 2, and then I figured out later on that I uploaded the wrong video, so I re-uploaded the video with a different video behind it. Yeah, it is the same as Benchmade. Yeah, I haven't taken one of these things apart yet. I don't really like dealing with springs, but it is a pretty comfortable ambidextrous knife. The only downside on this thing is it is a single position pocket clip. I did not steal this from Knives, I guess, I promise. I just asked him if I should buy it, and he said I should. So I spent the rest of my gas money for the month on this thing. It's the 18th. I've got the rest of the month with no gas money, so that's fun. And yeah, every once in a while you do get cut, but it's part of the hobby. Once you get cut, you just go, oh, that sucks, and then fix it, I guess. But yeah, it is overall a comfortable knife. These issues where you close it and it closes halfway only really happen under the camera. If you're out like where you've got a lot more space, it doesn't really happen. But I'm stuck under the camera and I've got like a foot between the camera and the table. So yeah, not the best camera situation, but I can't sit there out in public for 2 hours and do a live stream where people sit around and I'm playing with knives the whole time. I doubt people in the public would appreciate that. Anyway, so what are you guys up to? Hmm. Nugget. I like that name. Watching a live stream or two. Box cutters, listing kitchen knives on eBay. There you go. Box cutters are great for the average person. Not everybody needs all these freaking expensive knives. Like this thing, brand new. This is not brand new, but goes for around 500. And not everybody needs something that expensive. The one that everybody in the knife community seems to love is the Milwaukee Fastback 6-in-1. So, what did you buy this weekend? Because this is all I've bought for this week, and I'm out of money now, so that's always fun. I've got one of those. It's a nice knife. Mine came with a strong detent. That's the only problem I have with it, but I bought two at the same time. My dad's was the one with the strong detent, but I figured I'd take that off him because it's just kind of annoying to deal with. I'm sure if I sent it in, they'd send me another one back, but I don't really want to go through the hassle and pay extra money for that. Not worth it to me. Hmm. Ooh, that's snappy. How is the oh, is that the Atlas lock on those? How is that? Because it seems like a lock that I'd enjoy. I like the Shark Lock and Super Lock type deals. Is it smooth like I expect it to be? Because every one of their other knives is smooth. Beautiful. Maybe when I can afford one of those, I'll get one, but I have other things I'm focused on right now. So, if you guys don't know, I am an aspiring knife designer. It takes a lot of time and a decent amount of money to do that. And currently, I'm saving up for a 3D printer. So, when I get to 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours, if I get any super chats, they're going straight to that. So that's fun. Oh, I wish 3D printing was less expensive. The worst part is that's just the printer and the washing unit and the UV curing unit. Because companies, when you send them knife designs, they want to have them completely functional. But the best I can do is a resin print. Now, the reason why I would be buying a printer instead of having a company print it or printing it at a library for free or almost free is because one, libraries won't let you do that. They don't let you print knives. Two, I went to a company to ask how much a design would cost for them to print, and just the first iteration is $40, and everything after that still $40. I'd get 10 iterations before I could just pay for my own printer. So I'm just going for my own printer instead. I never really have a whole lot to talk about in these lives. I don't plan anything. Unlike some people, I kind of just hope people show up and say, hey, I have one of those, or how do you like this knife, or something like that. It doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of the time it does. Hey, do you now? Did you actually get one of these? Because I've recommended it to a few people. Well, a few people. The video on this is doing really well, actually. In the first day, it got 103 views. Everybody should have one of these. Everybody. Now, I would have mine right-hand tip-up carry, but the screw holes in here aren't threaded, so I can't exactly do that. I have like 4 of these things. I just keep losing them. One of them's signed by Mike from the Grand Thumb YouTube channel, but I haven't seen that one in a few months. Wonder where that went. I put all my knives away already. Why do I do that? Oh, and I'm not letting people pick what I carry this week. That last time sucked. I still need to do a review on this. The iridium is actually fairly nice. Nice try. Not falling for that. None of these knives are designed by anybody with that name, if that makes you feel better. Yes, I'm quick. Honestly, this isn't a bad knife. And they still make it. I don't know how good the quality is of it now. This is one of the older versions where it still says Gerber like that instead of just having their logo on it. But I do like these backlocks that are easy to open one-handed. This one's a fidgety one. This is an LST, a Gerber LST, I think. I'm not 100% sure, I don't remember. And the Opinel number 9 is a great knife, I just don't have one yet. The prices of those things have doubled in the last 4 years, and it really bothers me. Because they used to be like 15 bucks, and now they're sitting at around 27 to 30. And that's a lot of money for what you're getting. It used to be that like old reliable type deal where you could go get one from the store for 10 bucks, beat the crap out of it, and it would still be a great knife. But now that it's tripled in price from the $10, then it's ridiculous. No clue what that is, but no, probably not. If it has anything to do with athletics, I'm not athletically inclined. I'm horizontally inclined, though. Yeah, we don't have those here. Nope. We do have a decent amount of other sporting goods stores, but everything's overpriced here, so no clue what to do with that. The ones I've been enjoying carrying on my left side recently, I've been stuck with this one for the last week, which I don't really mind. But let's get everything else out of the way. I've been carrying this one and this one on my left side. And they're super similar, but one's like 70 bucks more than the other one. A lot of Civivs are really nice for the price. I'm looking to get a Vision from them, but maybe I should just reach out and ask. I don't like living with that the worst they can say is no deal because they can say so much worse than just no. But yeah, this one is a one-handed opener, easy with no. You can beat an Opinel quite easily, actually. Go to a pawn shop. And never buy this thing. I feel terrible for everybody who bought one of these. I know, because I bought one and it sucks. Let's swap the pocket clip position on this thing because I don't carry left hand with that. Yeah, I'm sitting up here in the north. Up here in Idaho where nothing really goes on. Except the Greater Idaho movement. That one's actually pretty interesting. Part of Oregon wants to be Idaho now. Dude, shut up. You know that CRKs are expensive. How you doing? I have no clue how to pronounce that. I suck at pronouncing words, so I get cheap stuff online. It's less expensive online anyway. Well, what are you going to sell it for? Because I may be interested. My broke ass might be interested. My broke ass is not interested. Anyway, I have a new video coming out here pretty soon. Jen sent me a Vaquero. It hasn't showed up yet, but as you guys may have, yeah, that is a car payment. Luckily, my car's paid off, but 400 is like 4 months of gas. So, well, maybe if you lived here in Idaho, you could. If only Case still made quality knives. Now, where was I going with that? Oh, Jen sent me a Vaquero to review. It hasn't showed up, and they've had problems with the scales cracking when they try and put a pocket clip on. Who said anything about potatoes? What's up with everybody and thinking all we eat is potatoes? Anyway, I've got a pocket clip idea that I need to test out before I suggest it to them, but I bought 3 titanium pocket clips, and that should be pretty dang exciting. Sadly, the pocket clips were supposed to be here yesterday, and now they're being put off until the 21st. Well, let's see. Chris Reeve knives are not supposed to be fidgety. They're supposed to be open it, use it, and then put it away. The fidgety knives are stuff like this. Chris never really liked flippers. That's why none of his knives have flippers on them. He likes the smooth opening, roll over type, like this, where you, well, can't do it with that one. Like where you slowly ride the blade out. Oh, it is a big thing there. And you could spend the night in a potato, by the way. I've been looking at the Vosteed Nightshade recently, and I really like how that looks. There's one at a pawn shop nearby. They want like $40 for it, and I still think that's too much. It's in really good shape. I just don't like spending a whole lot of money, especially when I don't have to. I don't even have $30, so they'd probably take it, but I don't have $30. I'm sitting here again for the rest of the month. I have no money unless I pulled out a savings for like my emergency fund, and I'm not doing that. I'm a little smarter than that sometimes. Ooh, you guys might like this one. So I haven't brought this out on the channel yet. This one, so my dad's boss, that was a family friend for probably the last 20 years, 18 years, passed recently, like in the last 2 years. And all of his stuff got sold. All of his company stuff got sold. A lot of his tools are still at the house, but my dad's been slowly buying most of the tools. And in a bucket of tools, he found this, and it's a CRKT Dog by G&G Hawk. These things are ridiculously expensive. I think I've seen them go for north of $100. Yeah, the best knife for a knife fight is a gun. And if not a gun, then pepper spray, because knives, you're just getting way too close. I wouldn't recommend using a knife in a fight at all. I'd recommend something that blinds the other person so that you can get away. There's no point in trying to stay there when you don't have to. And I used to think that, oh, I could take somebody with a knife. Nope. Not even gonna try. Not even gonna try. It's not worth it. No, nope. I wouldn't even go. No point. Never go into a fair fight. That's true. You need to have an upper hand. Anyway, you'd hope you wouldn't be in any knife fights. So the CRKT Dog, this one is missing 2 screws or 3 screws, and that's it. It needs taken apart and cleaned, but I'm really excited to get some screws for this thing. Dude, no you don't, and you know it. Actually, what knife do you use to get out of those? Now I'm curious. Do you use that CRK to do it? Putting that thing in some work? He only eats twice a day? Yes, okay. Dude, you like chop through logs with that thing. Don't tell me that you wouldn't fight with your baby. Oh no. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. I know Spartan Knives makes interesting stuff. I haven't seen a whole lot of their stuff though. My local knife shop only carried like 2 of their knives. Oh, and that one thing was a log. I don't think I've ever told you guys. I beat the tar out of my knives every once in a while just to see how they hold up. And one of the ones I did it to was a Cold Steel American Lawman. Let me show you guys how that ended up. Oh, let's not fall over. Oh. So this is my Cold Steel American Lawman. Dude, it's not gonna work. You can keep trying. I don't care. It's not gonna work though. You want to know how to get people better? I can tell you how to get people. You can't capitalize any of the letters of something that you're trying to get them to say, because then they'll go to the capital letter first. And they'll read what that says, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I don't want to say that. Okay, so I chopped through a log with this thing, about this thick of a log with this thing. And then I cut off, or my dad cut off 30 trout heads with it. And then I smacked it against a log a few more times. Of course, I'm going to give trolling lessons. I'm fun. And then I stabbed it into a. What did I do? Stabbed it into a fence post. And this thing still cuts paper. Let me get some paper, actually. Now, there's certain parts of it that were never sharp. Like when I bought it, it wasn't sharp. And I sharpened it to the best of my ability. But if I can get a good. Yeah. It is sharp. It's just at a terrible angle and not the whole blade's sharp. I wish that's how it worked. So about here up is not sharp. Whoever bought this and used it before me treated this thing terribly. Similar to how I treat it, but probably worse. This thing, brand new, is 122 on Blade HQ, and I bought it for $26.50. And I'm super happy with this thing. What do you mean too small? This thing's a little over a 3-inch blade, and the handle's just massive. The handle, including the choil, is almost 5 inches long. Oh yeah, go look up the, what is it, Cold Steel Espada XL. Now, funny enough, I can fit an Espada XL in my pocket. And no, I'm not just happy to see you. This here is for stabbing through a car door because you're bored. That's what it's for. I'm sure Knives, I guess, is jealous of you because of that. I've seen that one. Look, I'd say more screwed up things, but I can't incite violence on YouTube or else I get banned. So, can't be mean. Trust me, I'd love to. But I can't. Let's continue with, where was I? You know what? I'm going to start carrying a 3-foot sword. It's a sword that's half my height. That should work just fine. Use it to open Amazon packages and stuff. Perfect. Well, see, swords, everybody should carry a sword. Screw guns, just carry a sword. I'm mistaken. We need to carry muskets and a sword. Just like the founding fathers intended. Don't forget to wear a suit and tie when you're doing that as well. You need to look classy. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a knife with brass knuckles that's worth over $30. Yes, I know the end of that quote, by the way. And I don't know what a riffle is, but I'm assuming you meant rifle. Who made it? 250? Ooh, that was good, Fook. That was good. You can send it on Instagram, I guess. I don't mind. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but I probably will. You know what's funny is I'm stropping this thing for absolutely no reason. I've never even used this thing. I'm supposed to be carrying it this week. This is my first time doing anything with it other than the videos. Ooh, what? No way. That's insane. Holy crap, dude. I've never had a knife that sharp. That's insane. $10? No way. Fake paper. Yeah, it is fake paper. How'd you know? See, this paper is actually just a hologram. And in reality, I have more money than anybody else in the world. And I just use it to do these stupid videos on YouTube. Holy crap. Now, this knife isn't perfect. My knife has imperfections in it that bother me cosmetically. But I can't say I'm unimpressed. You know what the best part is? This little piece of leather doesn't have any stropping compound or anything on it. I use this piece of leather when I'm done sharpening to clean off the stone. So this is all just diamond grit that's come off over time and steel shavings from once I'm done sharpening. And I'd pick the hobo. And yes, I know that's from Family Guy. I know a decent amount of references. I've watched a lot of TV. No, I'd say you probably have a longer expectancy being the hobo. I don't know. With that one, mm, probably still the hobo, but I wouldn't want to live with that. But then again, if you're a hobo, you probably don't know you have it. Yeah, it's not that sharp. It's a lot of people. Well, see, I'm not attractive enough to make that statistic go up anyway, so. Yep, we'll see you later. Have a good rest of your day. Wild week. Okay. Guess we're just going to continue stropping and talking for the rest of the stream or something. Well, I don't know what else to do. I don't have anything to do on these things. I kind of just say, I'm going to start a stream, and then by the end of the stream, I get like another subscriber. So, I don't know. Not a whole lot to do. You know what I haven't stropped? Is this thing. Let's see how sharp it is first. I don't know. I never know how much I'm supposed to strop. I kind of just go until I think it's sharp and then I stop. And this one needs to have... Oh, that was actually a instruction manual to put together an awning on a trailer. Oh, I can shave with most of my knives. Ha, that sucks. Maybe that's why you got it for so cheap, is because it doesn't come with that. What gun is it anyway? We'll see you later, Fook. Oh, are you talking about one of them guns where you press a button and it does that? I've seen those, but I've thought about buying them a few times too. I just don't know if it would shoot nice or not. It's something I'd probably carry every day, but I don't know where I'd carry it. Well, my idea, contact the manufacturer and see if they'll sell you a spring for the hammer. Well, why wouldn't you just contact the manufacturer? Gunsmith's going to charge you like $100. Hmm. Something to keep in mind is a lot of manufacturers care about their customers and they want them to come back. Not everybody, but a lot of them. But yeah, if you ever have a missing part on a knife or a gun or something, send an email to the manufacturer, see if they can help you out. Not all companies will, but it's good practice. And it'll more than likely be cheaper to do it yourself than bring it to a place where they professionally do it. Just depends on how much you're willing to spend. Well, aren't they only like $190? That's how much they were at the place that I first saw them. It's a $500 gun. Dude, you got ripped off. Well, you paid 40. People that are buying it for 500 are getting ripped off. That's wild. Yeah, I've regularly seen those things at my local gun shop for like 190 to $200. Like for $500, why not just get a Ruger Mark IV? Those Mark IVs are so nice. And good news to everybody who's interested. This thing has had the parts for it ordered. So maybe that sound will go away. I don't really like Glock. They have I don't know, I'm not really the bandwagon type person normally. Especially for something that's going to cost that much. Why not just buy something I know I like? Now, one interesting thing I've noticed when I sharpen my knives is the way that the bevel looks when I'm finished. On the show side of the knife, it'll focus eventually. This bevel is really even all the way up and it looks really good. But on the opposite side, it gets larger right here in the middle. And I don't know why I keep doing that, but it happens. And I have no reason to try and sharpen this thing because I sharpened it the other day and it's already sharp. I need to find a knife that I can sharpen on every stream and just go at it. Like this pile of trash. I spent 50 bucks on this thing at Cabela's. And brand new right now, they go for like 22, and it's been discontinued because by the looks of it, every single one of these had a bad heat treat where you'd go to carve some wood or something and it's just, the edge just falls apart. God, this thing's so soft. The steel's super soft and gummy and it freaking sucks. That looks better. Yep, that's what I'd call sharp. Okay, does it shave? Those Elementums, I need to get one of those one of these days. They look super nice. I'd say it shaves. That's a bald spot because I keep shaving that spot. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having an Elementum one of these days. They're a little pricey for me. My budget's sitting normally at around $20. And at $20, I can get 3 knives every month after all the other expenses are paid. Well, this knife's sharp too. Let's see. How many Civivi knives do I have? So I don't sell any of my knives really unless I bought them specifically to sell them. I will buy them, clean them, and then sell them. That hasn't been going very well for me lately. I've got a few that are up for sale on different groups, but nobody seems to want them. On a few of them, I bought them for $10. I cleaned them up. I put them for sale for $30, and that's after shipping. So I make $10 off of them, and I'd really like the money, but I get it because the economy sucks right now. Yeah. My collection, I don't think I could ever get rid of a few of them. I don't have very many high dollar ones. Most of mine are sitting at the $40 range total. This one is probably my most expensive one. It's titanium scales, SG2, with whatever blade steel is up here. It was made in November of 2008. It's a 1 of 1,000 Kershaw Junkyard Dog 2. And the non-titanium ones are going for around 200 to 250. Some of them for 300. The SG2 and titanium ones go for 450 to 5, and I got mine for 140. I'm lucky at the time that I had the money, but that knife had been sitting there for like 6 months and they just wanted it gone. I offered 170, or no, they offered 170 because it was sitting at 240. And I said, could you do any better than that? And they said, sure, 140 out the door and a good Google review. And I'm like, I'll do it. $30 off for a Google review. That's probably the best possible deal I could have gotten on that thing. And luckily, so there's a lot of fake knives out there, and they let me bring it to another pawn shop to test if the titanium was actually titanium before buying it, which was awesome. So yeah, I've got a 1 of 1,000 Kershaw. I wish they still put the date that they were made, like the year and the month, but they don't. That would be really nice. That stopped probably in like 2014. I'd just like to know when my knives are made because I do a lot of research on them when I buy them. And it's hard to do research on something when you don't know when it was made, or you just have to no, I understand that. That gets really annoying when so on this one, that's huge. Like it covers a lot of the blade. But on this side it doesn't when it just says China down there. Certain knives it makes sense. ZT doesn't do it very bad. Kershaw does kinda, but it doesn't bother me on these ones. It doesn't look bad. It kind of just blends in with everything else. The companies that do it the worst are typically those companies that it's not worth bragging about. Yeah, the little. So, I don't know if you noticed it. I don't think I even showed it. But on this one, when it's open, down here it says, oh, November of 07, not 08. So this thing is 16 years old. 17, it's 15 or 16 years old, one of the two. And that flipper doesn't work worth shit, but I don't use it, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to end up buying another one that isn't titanium so that I can carry it. But the other one's also getting an aftermarket pocket clip so that I can put the original pocket clip back on this one because it didn't come with one. Which sucks. I wish it did. But what do you do? I don't know if they'll ever go back to doing that though. That little bit of information is just nice for me to have because I like organizing things sometimes. And some of my knives are over 100 years old. Some of them were just made in the last couple of years, but you wouldn't know because the amount of research that you have to do is insane just to find out a year. Like this one was made in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, in the 70s. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. Oh, the barrel spacers, and are you trying to date them or are you trying to put aftermarket ones on? Oh, we're only an hour into the stream. I would look up who makes custom ones. I don't know if Flytanium does or Lynch. So Lynch Northwest makes pocket clips out of titanium and they're pretty expensive, but they look good. And Flytanium sometimes makes backspacers for knives, but I don't know if they make them for the Elementum. I don't have an Elementum. I haven't looked into them very much because I don't have one. I mostly look for stuff for my Para 3. Do I have that around here? I should just stick out all my... Yeah, you should look into them. They make good stuff. It's just expensive. I've got a set of scales that I want for a Delica 4 I just bought, but the titanium scales are $93. And that's a lot of freaking money. I should get all my expensive shit out. Because for some reason, when you bring out all the expensive knives, a whole bunch of people show up. So my streams are either every Sunday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time or every other Sunday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I haven't figured it out yet. Sometimes I'm just not feeling up to the stream. It's just the way things go. But yeah, it should be on Sundays only. There we go. A whole bunch of expensive knives on the table. Well, let's total this up for worth-wise. 100, 150, 350, 450, 650, 1150, 1375. So everything on the table right here probably adds up to right around $1,375. You do what you have to do. If you don't show back up, that's perfectly fine. It's not going to bother me at all. You have a life outside of this. Focus on that. Don't focus on me. And have a great rest of your day. Do I have anything else that's expensive? Which one's tactical? There's a... What is this one? A ZT610 ST. Launch 1. Tactile Knife Co. Bayer. Oh. This one's the Tactile Bayer in MagnaCut. It's titanium scales with, again, a MagnaCut clip point blade that's 3 inches long. It is a slip joint, so it doesn't lock. Keep that in mind when you're looking into it. This is a Spyderco Dragonfly 2 in S30V. I just about chopped a finger off with an AD-15 at a pawn shop. I didn't realize how the the scorpion lock worked and just about snapped it closed on my ring finger. It scared the living crap out of me when that happened. So I don't own any Smith & Wesson knives because I find that the quality tends to be lacking in what I'm looking for. And they don't really fit what I carry normally. I tend to go for the more expensive blade steels for as cheap as I can get them. They do seem cheaply built most of the time. Some of them are actually decent. Is this a Smith & Wesson? No, this is a Schrade. I got a Schrade Viper 3. But yeah, I don't know what the executive is. It's not something I've heard of. I just know that So Smith & Wesson doesn't make knives. What they do is they license their name out to other companies to make knives and then put their well-known brand onto their knife. And a lot of companies do this. Knife or gun companies do this a lot because it gets them money in licensing fees, and the people that make the cheap knives get money as well. I don't think that it's worth it to license your quality gun company's name onto knives that people can't trust. Yes, with very few exceptions, Gold, Rainbow, and yeah, most of those are very cheaply built. I wouldn't say the Endura is very affordable, honestly. What's it sitting at nowadays? Like, let's see, Endura, $80. Those things are a little pricey. Yeah, there we go. Um, the Spyderco Bug's just too small. No, it's not bad for a high-end knife. That's true. What does your dad normally do with knives? So I got my dad a Civivi Mini Praxis for Father's Day this year, and I bought him that to replace this because he kept sharpening this thing and it just wasn't working out. Well, it was working out fine. It's just it was getting old. So I wanted, and he doesn't like thumb studs either. So I got him a Mini Praxis to replace it. Roughly the same size, and he enjoys it. It's a great knife, D2 blade steel, so better edge retention than that one. And surprisingly enough, he does a lot of stuff with that thing and hasn't needed to sharpen it since Father's Day. It still has the factory edge. I'm impressed. Okay, size matters sometimes. I want you to know this. You may not have been told this, but size does matter. This one is a little small. It fits okay, but it is a little small. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I've also heard a lot of the Osborne isn't a bad knife. I don't like how much it costs. I think that Benchmade needs to come out with a budget line. But yeah, if you can get an Osborne, an S90 or if you can get one of the MagnaCut ones, that's new. I didn't even know they came out with MagnaCut until like last week. It needs to happen, dude. One of these days, all these people. Well, here's the problem: all these Benchmade collectors buy them for any price, and they don't care. When you've got like the Narrows, nobody asked for something that thin. If you've ever held one, they're so thin; it's uncomfortably thin. You can't do any hard use with that thing. It feels terrible. But guess what? Hey, people still buy it for $522 or $540 for the DLC version. It's ridiculous. And the axis lock on that one actually hurts to use. A mini Claymore 150. Microtech makes good stuff. But something to keep in mind with those is if you wear jeans and any lint gets inside of that thing, it will not fire. And then you need to send it in and have them clean it. Because I doubt that you're one of those people who wants to take them apart. Yeah, Microtech makes great knives. The problem with Microtech, dude, most people don't know how those things work. How you doing, Josh? Most people don't know how an out the front knife works, and they are ridiculously hard to find the tiny parts inside of them. So if something goes flying, you're kind of screwed. Now, where was I going with that? Microtech makes great knives, but the tolerances are so tight that the ram lock is great too. I completely agree with that. The ram lock, that where was I going with that? The tolerances are so tight that if any lint or any oil that isn't thin enough gets in that thing, it just screws everything up and you can't open it anymore. Let's see here. I do need to get, so I'm looking at the Microtech MSI and I'm thinking about getting one of those. I don't see why I would want the aluminum version. There's no point. The polymer version is just as good. It's lighter too. I just don't know if I'm willing to spend that much. And their proprietary tool. Yeah, that. Yep. Woohoo. The slowest auto. Sure, they stand behind them, and their customer service is decent from what I've heard. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about I want to maintenance my own knives. I want to do maintenance on them. And if I have to do them or do maintenance every 5 or 10 times that I carry my knife, I'm not going to be happy. I carry a knife daily. I don't always use it, but imagine if you didn't even use it and it doesn't work. When the one day that you might need your knife, like you're stuck in your car and your seatbelt is stuck or something, and you can't cut your seatbelt because your knife malfunctions. You can't do that because the end of it's open. And if you did some sort of dust cover, your knife is going to go straight through it and rip it off. Well, it sounds like you got lucky because a lot of the people that I talk to in person, there you go. A lot of people that I talk to in person have the exact problem that I'm describing where once every 4 or 5 days it won't fire. And then from then on, they have to take it apart and clean it because it won't fire about 50% of the time. And that's, I know what's causing it. I understand the tolerances are tight, but that's not what I want. And yeah, I'm pretty broke to own a Microtech. Exactly. And the worst part about having issues with it not opening is sending it in costs money. And I'm not sure if having them clean it costs money too, but it just bothers me that I can't do it myself for something so complicated. And yes, out the front knives are complicated. Don't tell me they're not. They are. Especially out the front autos that go in and out instead of just the one button out. Those things are really complicated. I haven't heard about that. Um, let's see. I haven't heard about their heat treats going wrong, but I don't talk to a lot of people that own them. There's only one guy that I know that owns a Microtech, and he carries it less than he carries his Benchmade Infidel. And he carries that thing all the time. I'm sure if I called him right now, he'd be carrying it. Yeah, I wasn't. I followed I followed Bees last month. I don't normally watch live streams other than what was it? Metal Complex, and I stopped watching his because you try and talk to people and you can't talk to people because the chat goes by so damn fast. I don't think I've heard of a Kaiser deckhand. I do have a chance to get a Kaiser beg lighter though at my local pawn shop. I could probably get it for around 30. Yeah, I don't carry fixed blades. I don't have anywhere to put them. Oh wow, it almost looks like a Benchmade, but it's not. Knife streams are actually getting. Oh, the orange one's the. So this one's from Walmart. It's their new Ozark Trail. Let's see. So this is what the packaging looks like. And when you get this inside the packaging, because for some reason I've kept the packaging. So here's what it looks like. How bad is what gonna shatter? This, I haven't had any problems with this thing. Yeah, it looks like a bug out, but it's $10 instead of 110. I do. Yeah, the dropout is what this has been named. Thank you, Punisher. It's been named that because it looks like a drop bear and a bug out, I guess. I've had good experiences with Spyderco's. This was my first Spyderco. It was, I think I got this thing for $20. It was abused. I sharpened this thing up and wonder if it is sharp, because when I sharpened that thing, I was just getting started on sharpening. After I bought that one in sometime of 2023 during summer, I bought this one in January, pair of 3. And in the same shipment, I got a Dragonfly 2 and S30V. Honestly, I'm surprised that it did so well. I did push it a lot harder than I normally do. The Para 3 is a great knife. Eventually, I plan on getting the Lotus scales from Flytanium, the DLC Lotus ones, because it just looks so nice. And I already got myself a Lynch pocket clip. Yeah, this is a Paramilitary 3 in S45VN. With a Lynch clip. And the Lynch clip came on my... So this knife right here is right now at 200 on Blade HQ. 197, but I'm just going to call it 200. It's a great knife. Back when I bought it, it was 184. Spyderco prices jumped by 10% about 4 months ago on every website as far as I've seen. So knives that used to be under 100 are sitting a little over 100 now. The Salt series took a big hit. It's not fun watching that. The Wave Plus, the Leatherman Wave Plus is actually sitting right where it probably should be. Now I understand that fuel prices are increasing shipping prices, and that makes things more expensive. But it just sucks watching it reflect like that, and I kind of wish that they'd take it more slowly. Because when you do something, when you jump prices 10%, yeah, the Buck 110 Auto is a great knife. I need to oil this thing once a month. And you guys get to watch me oil this thing for the first time this month. Anyway, where was I going with that? It sucks watching. I have a rebar. I spent $30 on it. Now, for anybody curious what I'm doing, this is a carbon steel blade made of 1095, and carbon steel rusts. So if you don't care for it properly, it will start rusting, and that's what I'm doing here, is preventing that by putting a layer of oil on it and then wiping it off. Once you wipe it off, you do not want to touch the blade again. When I got mine, so I bought mine from a yard sale for 25 or 30, one of the two. I went to that yard sale originally because they had a Wave and I wanted a Wave. Well, I ended up like a couple weeks later buying a Wave Plus for $30, the same price that I spent on the rebar. So I kind of regret buying the rebar. And to sharpen my knives, I wish I had more. I use this. This is a DMT Finestone. You can find them on Amazon for $13 right about now. Back in the day, they used to be, this was probably $60 brand new when they came out. And things have gotten better over time. This thing's significantly less pricey than it used to be. And then I got given this piece of leather by my local pawn shop. It was part of a, what are they called? What do you call those things? Holster. It was part of a leather holster that broke, and they had just one piece, and I just asked if I could buy it. They said $5, and I said definitely not. The guy went to his manager and said he can have it, so I just took it home with me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the rebar. My rebar has some rust, and it bothers me when I see that. And I'd send it in, but sending it in is going to cost money. And then once that costs money, I have to try and sell it. And I'm not going to sell it for anywhere near what I bought it for. Well, let's see if this thing's sharp. Lucky for me, I have a huge stack of paper from an instruction manual. That's not bad. can do better than that. Yeah, no one wants the rebar. And for some reason, when they do want it, they buy it brand new instead of buying it used. So, I don't know what's up with that one. I'm just sitting here trying to make money on stuff that I like doing, but not an easy endeavor. Yeah, I'd like to see more knife collectors that enjoy the less expensive ones. It's hard to find people that find the joy in inexpensive items nowadays. Yep. So, what ended up happening was the Chinese knives are being made better and better, but the Pakistan made knives have been going downhill. Yeah, $300 a knife each every single time. Sometimes they go for $350. I'd like to have a few Jack Wolf knives, but I haven't found any that are under 200. You'll find them at. I don't think you'll find them on either of those. You'll find them on eBay. You won't find them for a decent price, but you will find them on eBay. Let's test again. I do look at thrift stores often. That's where I find some of my stuff. And then pawn shops is where I get almost everything else. So, what I want to happen is I want a company to move production from China to Africa. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous and kind of expensive, but the reason why is because the people in Africa do good work and they do it very, very well for extremely inexpensive. You can move your production from China to Africa and make knives for less than you've ever made them before with better quality. The best part is those savings can be passed on to the customers that you're trying to sell the knives to. And that's what I'm mostly wanting is the savings for everybody that's buying stuff. Like, everybody wins in this situation, except maybe the Chinese people, but they still make money on other stuff anyway. Exactly. Like, there's no real loss in that situation. I don't think a company would take me up on the idea. But it would be nice to see it happen. Once business starts moving to other parts of the world, quality of life will improve there significantly. And all those people in all those countries that are saying that they can't afford food and stuff, well, guess what? They can start affording food. There wouldn't be coups every other week if the economy was doing better. The only reason why stuff like that happens is because there's not political unrest, but economical unrest. People aren't doing well. I've never heard of one of those. Punisher, I figured out what I need to do. I need to do a whole stream bashing on what's the company called? What was Brad Buckner's company? You know those sharpeners that Lacey was talking about? Yeah, Sharpen's Best. I need to do a whole stream bashing on that guy. And then post it and say why Sharpen's Best is the worst company or the worst sharpeners ever. I'm not sure that the companies that support me would like that, but it would be so funny because this dude gets so mad when you say anything bad about his company. It's too smooth. I wonder how that would go. Because I know when I did a video on his, on that sharpener, the Sharpen Spark is what he called it. There was some permanent damage caused to one of my knives. A deep gouge that went all the way up the whole blade. And early on in my YouTube channels, the whole YouTube channel deal, when something pissed me off, I made a video about it immediately. And what I didn't realize was YouTube held his comments in review for 2 months before I saw them. And he just sat there like for a whole 2 paragraphs calling me an idiot, saying I was using the product wrong, blah, 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 blah. Like, if that's how you talk to people, I don't know how you have a business. Taking things way too personally. And the best part is, I didn't say anything particularly bad about the product. I suggested changes that could make things better. And I admitted that part of the reason why the damage happened was because of user error. But there's something about pissing off a man like that where they take things personally and it causes problems. Well, joke's on you. I'm super gullible. So take that. Yeah, I haven't seen his products anywhere in stores. I haven't seen any. I've only seen him on YouTube, along with Tumblr USA. I saw them on YouTube as well. I haven't seen either of their products in stores anywhere, only online. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. Probably nothing. But I don't know if he's tried to get into stores. I don't know anything about that. And I kind of stopped watching his content after he was a D-bag. But what do you do? Those things are kind of expensive too. Like, it's a piece of plastic with a piece of carbide in it. And mine had a ferro rod in it. And that all added up to, I think when I got it, it was 30 something bucks. I'm wondering what the guy's profit margins are. And the best part is, he doesn't comment on your videos with the company YouTube channel. He comments with his personal YouTube channel. I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't mind having a few pieces of World War II history. And I don't really care which side they're from. It's more of, I'm a history nut and I like having things, shiny stuff. But it seems like in his videos where I'm assuming he's at Blade Show. No, he's not at Blade Show. He's at SHOT Show. That explains a lot. I don't think I've ever seen him in a Blade Show video. I'd be curious if he does go to Blade Show or not. Well, I don't have, my dad has so back in 35, I believe, Germany took over the FN plant in Belgium where they made high powers. And when they made the high powers, it was the first gun, the first pistol with a double stack magazine. And the Germans liked them so much that they forced the people there to keep making them. And then they put Nazi proof marks all over them. And they were interesting pieces, and they were only given to the SS guys. They go for around 2,400 last time I checked. It's just interesting to shoot a piece of history like that because it's such a comfortable gun. And I don't really. It's just a piece of history to me. I don't care about where it came from. I just know some interesting facts about it, and it's a cool gun. People get so upset about what's already happened. They don't look about what's going on right now and what could be going on in the future. Not an easy problem to fix. Well, so we've got a FN high power from 35 or something like that. And the Springfield SA35 is also a high power with a slightly, I think it holds 17. No, it holds 15. And the original high power holds 13. And you can use the magazines interchangeably, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the SA35 isn't a bad gun. Our experience with the magazine on that, though, is at first, like as soon as you get it out of the box, it's super tight and you can only stick like 6 in there. And you have to leave 15 in there and then take them all out and stick the 15 back in and take them all out again. I don't know. We don't buy a whole lot of guns. I own 2 guns. Both are great. I highly recommend both of them, but I don't know. I'm interested in guns and I love shooting bolt action rifles. They're just fun to me. But I don't get the chance to go out shooting with friends and stuff, so one of these days I need to find out where Tim Reeve goes shooting and or see if I can get invited to go out shooting with him one of these days. That'd be a good time. So I've got 2 in the house. There are probably 8. And yes, I'm a good shot. It's if I ever need them, I'll be perfectly fine. Probably. Well, let's bring all these back out so that maybe more people will show up. For some reason, at the start of the stream, I had 54 people in here. Like 2 minutes into the stream. And sometimes that happens and it's super weird. But when YouTube gives you that boost right at the start, it's kind of exciting. wish that boost would last longer. Probably had 52 people in here for 5 minutes. Now 52 people for 5 minutes. It's a lot of watch hours if they actually stayed and it wasn't just bots or something. If somebody wants to do the math on that, 52 times 5 divided by 60. Yeah, that doesn't sound too far off. If I got 4.3 watch hours off this video, I can't tell you how excited I'd be from that. Off this stream. It's super hard for me to get watch hours because I don't upload more than once a week. So all my watch hours come from that one upload every week, plus whatever live streams I do, along with all the older videos that are still up. And those older videos don't normally get very many views after the first week of posting. But yeah. It's a clone. I don't have $700 to spend on something like that. It's about every knife on the table except for the super expensive one. Bam. You know, I thought for sure that bringing out all these knives would bring people in. So there was one of those that was sitting in my local, what's it called? Sportsman's Warehouse, and it had been sitting there for probably 3 years. And they finally got tired of it sitting there and dropped the price to like $522 instead of $700. And I know they probably lost money on that. But it was interesting because within like 2 weeks it was gone. And I've never seen a Benchmade Gold Class move that fast. But yeah, to get something like this, it would have to be like 200. In good condition, 200. But yeah, this was my first Axis lock knife. This is what helped me decide that it's a decent lock. It's just not my kind of thing. Wonder who that second person that's sitting in here is. You know what sucks is nobody asked anything about any blade steels today. And I actually charged up a phone, a second phone, to answer any steel questions if anybody had any. that $3,500 price tag, I don't even know how you reach that. Like, there has to be mammoth ivory gold inlays somewhere. It has to be extremely expensive materials for me, because, and guess what? The best part is it's probably going to be D2 for 3,500 bucks. Woohoo, and the second phone's fully charged. So unfortunately for me, I'm probably going to be taking some money out of savings, out of my emergency fund, and I will be buying stuff on auctions if possible to get some decent knives for a decent price. So yeah, here's my second phone. Little Galaxy J3 Achieve. Thing's freaking old. Back when they had replaceable batteries. Wouldn't that be nice? So yeah, I'm done carrying this one for the week. The review on this one will come out in 2 weeks, probably. I understand why they don't. It's to make more money, but it's so screwed up. I remember when the modular phone was it was an idea that popped into someone's head, and a company was going to start doing it, but it never got enough money from a Kickstarter, so they didn't do it. And it was where, go look up the module. Actually, I'll just look it up real quick because I've got a second phone. YouTube. Do, 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 do. Yeah, it's called Phone Blocks. This thing. So, if you want to watch this video, 10 years ago. Dang. It's a while ago. Well, see, back then, when phones were that big, nobody had them. So if your dad had one, must have been a high roller making some real money. Let's see here. So this is that knife steel composition thing that I've been telling people about. Is that the one where it's is the Ranch Boss the liner lock? Because I don't really like that one. If it's the one where it's a liner lock with a back spring like a traditional, those things they just feel dangerous to hold. Scared of it closing on me. Oh, well, that's cool. Well, let's not point you guys up at that. Would you just buy it, or are you just holding it? Bam. Oh, okay. So yeah, you can go onto this app. You can search whatever alloys. Let's look up S90V. Bam. This is all the information you should need to know about S90V. Really helpful information. Do you know what steel that cold steel was made in? And we'll go ahead and look that up. Cold steel makes solid stuff. But does it tell you anywhere on the box or anything what the steel is? Because if it does, I'll look it up on here and we can tell you some more about it. Or I can scroll up on here. Ranch Boss 2. And I can go onto the second phone and look it up. Yeah, that's one of those ones where it bothers me with how the lock is. Well, I'm probably going to head out here pretty soon, so SK5, huh? I'll go ahead and look up SK5, then I gotta head out. Oh my god, I would love it if this thing would stop being a turd. Okay. Well, I gotta head out, guys. Later.